So today we're going to start the freeze dryer, something I've been wanting to do. And so any food that you're going to freeze dry, you got to freeze it first. And when you say freeze dry, it keeps its shape as it's drying the food out to save or for snack or whatever. But we're going to do strawberries today, and this will be an ongoing video, but short little segments. And so the first thing we need to do to get ready is look at custom. Okay, everything looks fine. Save. Start. And then when you start it, you got to make sure you got your valve closed. That's where all the water's going to go down into the I've got a 5-gallon jug. And so the food that we're going to freeze dry is already frozen in the freezer. So I don't have to freeze it first because it's already done. Strawberries. That's what we're going to do. They make a nice, sweet snack. So, I'll show you when I get the pans full, because you got to wait 15 minutes for it to get ready as it runs and freezes. So this is the last pan I gotta get ready to put in. So when you do your weighing, I've got this silicone to help food not stick to the bottom, and which is nice. But what you gotta do is you got to how much does a silicone weigh? How much does a pan weigh? And then how much does food weigh? So we'll get this pan full of food. You need to keep good records. Now, when it comes to these strawberries, they're probably going to be like snack for being on a trail or hiking, and so when it comes to fruit, you can also just put it in water and it will rehydrate when you're ready to eat it. So, but when you're doing stuff like, let's say, green beans, you're going to want to rehydrate them unless you want to eat them before they're cooked. They're actually cooked before they put them in a can. Or if you go from picking green beans to wanting to freeze dry it, but after you got them freeze dry and you want to eat it, you've got to put the water back. So you got to keep good records of how much water goes out and then how much water you need to put back in to rehydrate it. I've almost got this pan ready. Yeah, I got into freeze drying about a year ago. I probably got 6 months of food if I wanted to do it as survival. And some of it I do survival and some of it I don't. Some of it's for like snacking on a trail, or like a few weeks ago I made up a bunch of strawberries, apples, peaches, for my son-in-law. They was going to Florida, and then Skittle candy. People like to have the Skittle candy. We'll do that as I do more and more of the freeze drying. But when they came back, I mean, there was like maybe 20 bags of strawberries, which be 20 quarts, maybe not quite that much, I'm not sure now. And so, and then there was about 4 or 5 bags of Skittles, quart bags. And so when they came back, there was maybe a fourth of one bag of the Skittles left. All the strawberries, all the peaches, apples was all gone. So, I don't know if, this is these pans holds a quart. Is that right? And so it's like that. And they're already frozen, but what I have to do now is I have to weigh it. And then when I go to get the food weight, I have to consider that I need to take the weight of the silicone, the weight of the pan. Once I subtract those out, that gives me a food weight. So this pan weight, let's put a few more, I see a few more areas I can put some strawberries. Okay, that is 16.3 ounces. 16.3 ounces. So I'm going to take this pan, I'm going to stick it here in the freeze dryer. Okay, make sure the seal is good all the way around. Now up here, I push continue. Now it's going to start freezing it. It'll freeze till it's about 10 below. That's really cold. Sometimes it depends on what the sensors might detect what type of food, and it might go to 15 below. So now I've got everything ready. The freeze dryer is going to do its thing, and so sometime tomorrow I'll do a dry weight. So you start, once I subtract the silicone, the pan, that'll give me the true food weight. And then down here I will do a dry weight. And so, I don't know if you can see that. Tomorrow I'll do a dry weight, and you consider the pan and the silicone. So whatever, what you're dehydrating, freeze drying is in, what a pan or whatever it might be, a silicone like pan, you got to consider that's separate from the food weight. So sometime tomorrow, probably around 24 hours. Fruit doesn't take as long. It just depends on how much water's in it. So so it's all ready. Freeze drying is easy, it's fun, and we'll be doing a lot of it. So sometime tomorrow, you'll see me again to check the dry weight. And I'm cutting part of my head off. Oh, there it is. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's see. Like, subscribe, share, whatever that is. See you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, I'm back now. It's the next day, and I'm going to check the first dry weight. So what we do, and then I gotta open up the valve. Not to open it too fast, because then it'll suck in moisture could be in the tube. Gotta take all the pressure off. Now I can open the door and then do the first check, dry check. Just removing some of the moisture that doesn't need to be there. Number 1. And this is just to get the first weight is a starting point. So I get the first check, and then after it goes a couple hours more, I'll get the second check. Hopefully my scale is not messing up. It would be. Now recheck these ones. Since I'm on the camera, it wouldn't mess up, right? Okay, I don't know what the crazy thing. It could be that this table, it's actually a work table, so it's made different. Now it's working right. I had it setting something about the table. I had it setting wrong, but now it's doing good. So I got to erase. And doing these strawberries is not as important because it could be a snack. Not as important as what it would be for making something that's going to last for a year. If it's a snack, you're going to eat it. You're not hydrating it. You're just going to eat it like it is. If it's something like, say, green beans, something else that you want to hydrate, you got to be exact on how much water came out, how much water you got to put back in to make it what it was. And this is the first time I'm doing this, so hopefully I will get better. If I was doing a different thing, let's say, I don't know, maybe a dinner, let's say macaroni dinner. It'd be important on how much water comes out, how much water's got to go back in. When you freeze dry, it keeps its structure. I guess that's what I want to say. So, and when you put the water back in, all the areas where there's water in vegetables, when it goes back in, it keeps its structure, and it's pretty much like it was before you freeze dried it. So this is the first check on the dry check. And so the next time I check, it'll be if it changes or not. If it changes, that means you don't have all the water out. And when it's dry, once it comes out, when it dries, every minute that's out in the air, it pulls moisture real quick. So when it's time to bag, it's important to get it out, bag it, and put the oxygen absorbers in, because the real in freeze drying, you got to keep the oxygen out and keep it dry. And using these Mylar bags like this, depending on the size you want to use, it keeps the light out. I mean, it's a real durable bag. You can get them like these are freestanding, so when you open up the bottom here, it'll actually stand up. But we'll get into that later. See you in a couple hours. I'm back. So what was 2 hours for me is like seconds for you. So I've got this all ready. I just got to take them out, do the second weight, and if it changes, then that means it's got to go back in. If it doesn't change, then we can bag it. And I've got the camera turned down, so I'm going to put some strawberries. This is what they look like there. That's how it's been freeze dry. If all I was going to do is dehydrate it, it might be good for 6 months, maybe a year, depending on what it is. Okay, that one is the same. I'm going to put it back in here for, well, I'll leave it out. For now, I do not, I mean, I could freeze dry, and I'd have a bigger freeze dryer if I was doing it to sell, but I just do it for my own private use and maybe family. That one's the same. I think I would just go ahead and bag it. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use my fingers because it's for me, it's not for sale. We're going to put some, this is for the purpose of you seeing it. So right now it feels like styrofoam, freeze dried. But I'm going to put these in here and let it hydrate and let you see them once they've hydrated. It's floating. Okay. And I'm just doing it in bulk. Kind of overkill. And there is labels if I was going to sell this. First you have to get license and stuff like that to be able to sell. I don't want to do that. I just do it privately for myself and friends and family. So there's the first one bag, but it's not finished. I got to put an oxygen absorber in. And then they make these um, tags, labels that you can put on the front. I just mark it right on the bag. The date, time, not so much a time, but a date, and what it is, what the weight is, how much water to put back in it. Well, they're starting to absorb the water. Stick it with my finger. There we go. Okay. Do the next bag. I mean, freeze drying is really easy. When it comes to buying a freeze dryer, this was $1,500. A large one can be $5,000. So it's not something that, but I would bet the food that you save and not lose makes up for it. When I got interested in doing freeze drying, I saw a guy on YouTube doing it, and one of the things he talked about was that there was so much waste because some people, when you're done eating, you have leftovers, and if you got leftovers, do you like leftovers? Some people like leftovers, and so the leftovers in his family just got thrown away, and he hated to see that, so he looked into freeze drying and he saw that he would wait until, say, whole chickens that's been cooked at Costco's. He would wait till it's on sale, and like I don't know what the regular price is, but it'd be like $1 something per chicken. And so he would go, if they've had 20 chickens, he had a medium-sized freeze dryer. He would take and buy all 20 chickens, go home, pull all the meat off the bone, pre-freeze it, and I've got my head cut off, but I want you to be able to see what's going on here. And so he'd freeze dry it, and so let's say him and one other person, or we'll just say just him eating within the next, say, 25 years, he could take there was no leftovers, because he would just go, let's say he wanted a pint size or quart size, just enough chicken for one serving, and he'd take it out. Once it's freeze dry, he'd get it out of the bin, and he would eat just the amount of chicken that he wants. So once he hydrated it, and you can do this raw, but I prefer to do it with food that's cooked. That way I know it's always been cooked. So, but there's no leftovers. Where before, if he bought a whole chicken, ate part of it, put the rest in the refrigerator, to eat it another day, and then you don't get back to it, and he doesn't eat it, that's food that's been wasted. So, and he solved his problem by freeze drying it, and so, but yeah, after you freeze dry it, you get about 25 years to decide on what you want to do with it. So and that can be survival food. And this one, put that there for now. And that is the same weight. So like when it comes to having a garden, you know, one tomato plant produces a certain amount. 10 tomato plants produces a lot of tomatoes, and so you have, when they come ripe, you end up throwing a bunch away, or you just give it away to friends. So it can be wasted, all the tomatoes, or you freeze dry them, and when you freeze dry tomatoes, you can make it as a sauce, you can make it as ketchup, you can make it whatever tomatoes will make. And just like canning can be good for a year. My mother, every summer, she would, once it came harvest time, she would can a bunch of stuff, vegetables and everything. And so we had vegetables and stuff from the garden throughout the winter. But when it comes to freeze drying, it can last up to 25 years. And so, and it can I'm not done with these. I still got to put the oxygen absorber in them. Okay, the last one. Put this over here. This on the scale. Same. And this is the first one just to show you, I mean, to give you an idea of how I'm doing it. Hopefully I'll get a little better. And this is the same way that they would make, and I'm sure a lot of you have done it. It's bought, I don't know, at different places it would show freeze-dried ice cream sandwiches. Like that would be for people going into space. I don't know if that's where it started. It might have been. And so you buy that, and it's freeze-dried ice cream. Okay, that's the last bag. And that's pretty simple, what I'm doing here. So, I'll take these out of the picture for a minute. And now, since I'm done with this, I can say defrost. You'll go into defrost mode. And basically get ready, and you can do it all over again. Now what I'm going to do is, you cannot keep these oxygen absorbers out too long, so I do them all at once, and then I reseal the bag. And on these oxygen absorbers, depend on the size of the Mylar bag that you use, that's what size that you would get. These are for the quart size, and we'll go into that later. That little pink thing shows you that they're good. So when I open this to reseal it, I need, see, the thing is, you can get them, I've got some that, the individual, or it's a pack of 10, and usually you'll have 9. But let's go ahead and open this up. And when you know it, my scissors are not here. Before I open that up, I'm going to make another bag for it. That's this thing back here is my this is to seal food in these bags, but you got to seal one end, and then once you get the food in it, you seal the other end. But I am going to momentarily turn you on. Okay, I'm back. Got my scissors. Take out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. One. Fill that bag back. The second one. Second one. Third one. And when it comes to writing on the bags, of course it's easier to write on it before you put the food in it. Okay, those are bagged. Got the oxygen absorber in them, so that keeps all the oxygen that stays in them once I seal it. These strawberries, here's a freeze-dry one. Looks like styrofoam. This is the, of course, you know when you have a strawberry. These are slices. I wish I would have freeze dried maybe next time, a whole one. But the thing is, whatever you freeze dry, the smaller that it is cut into, like if it's meat, if it's cut into small cubes, it's easier to hydrate. What I found out is I had a chicken, I was freeze drying chicken. It was like not so much like chicken nuggets, but it was unbreaded chicken, but it was pretty thick pieces. And it took longer to rehydrate it because the chunks was so big. So something like this is going to hydrate pretty good. Because it's smaller chunks. And so this is, see it's like styrofoam. So, and if you're going to eat this as a snack, it's going to be sweeter because I took all the water out. That means the sugar that's naturally in the strawberries is more concentrated. That's why it's good to do strawberry for snacks if you're going on a trail, hiking, stuff like that. So anyway, we'll get back to what we was doing here. Letting that hydrate there. So once I got them in the bag, the next step would be is to seal. These are, you can get, I prefer to get the bags that these are not standing bags, but prefer to get the bags that the bottom widens out, and then you've got this Ziploc. And so over here, first, I gotta seal my oxygen absorber bag so they don't go bad. So I resealed my oxygen absorbers in the bag, and there's the little test thing that shows they're good. And now I can put them back up until I use them again. Basically, this is, it just draws all the air out, vacuum pack that I've had for a while. The next thing I'm going to do here, this came with my freeze dryer, and so basically what it does, on the bag you got this Ziploc here, you seal this top edge, and that makes it totally sealed. But then when you open it here at the notches, open it up and say, let's say we're on a trail or we're camping or something, I eat what I want, I put it back in the bag, and then I Ziploc it. And of course, once you open it, it's no longer going to be good for 25 years. It'll be good like anything you'd buy in the store. Within that week, you should eat it. So over here, stick it in there like that. I bring this down. It buzzes. And then it makes, I don't know if you can see it, a nice seal on the top. And we'll do that for the next one. Real easy. It's fun doing freeze drying. Since I bought this freeze dryer over a year ago, I've got probably 6 months of food, if not more. freeze dried, and I just don't have to worry about it until I want to eat it, or 25 years. And of course, depending on how you freeze dry, or depending on whether it's going to last for 25 years. So, go to the fourth bag. And you have to adjust it here on the side for the seal. I don't know if you can see that. At the top, it seals it. So there's 4 bags, 4 quarts of strawberries. And that I can eat whenever I want. I've got time to worry about it. It's not like, okay, you get tomatoes, you usually have to eat those within a week, or they become soggy and really soft to the touch. And then maybe in 2 weeks they might be rotten. And so I can take, because I'm not selling this to make it look pretty, I can take this marker, write down the date, what it is, strawberries, the weight, before and after, and then I can show how much between the weight and the second weight. I just put in the regular weight that it is right now, and then how much water, whether it's hot or cold, to put back into it. If it's a soup, it would be hot water to rehydrate it. And so I think I covered that. Because depending on what it is, it could be hot water or cold water. And I'll show you what. Usually you can buy separate. You can buy, if I've got any here. Here's some. These are just little tiny labels you can write on if I was going to sell it. But since I'm not selling it, why waste my money on labels when I can just take a marker, mark right on the bag. So I've done this is hydrated. Now we'll see how. Okay, so this, if I don't drop it, this is the hydrated strawberry. I might over hydrate it. Yeah, I did. So the thing is, I just put it in water, and if I would have took, say, and how much water I need to put back in, of course, you would do it for more than one strawberry, because it's pretty soft right now. This is the, I call them like styrofoam. So let's see how it tastes. It's got the normal taste. It's kind of waterlogged because normally you wouldn't put it just in a cup of water, because now if you wanted to blend this up into a smoothie, this would be perfect. You put in whatever you want to do, strawberries. Let me get some of this. And if I was going to make a smoothie with it, whatever liquid's already in the smoothie with the strawberries, that's all I would put in it. I wouldn't worry about putting in the right amount of water, because they're actually going to be sweeter if you eat them right out of the bag, or put them right into a take this whole bag and put them into a smoothie drink, strawberry. I think it would work out real good. Well, hopefully the next one I do will be a little bit better. Freeze drying. And I'm going to bring the camera up to me. Hopefully the next one I do, I'll repeat myself, will be a better one than the first. And here on, get better and better, and hopefully I get better with being a YouTuber, and just show you what I do as a hobby, because I'm retired. And so us old guys, when we and ladies, when we retire, we need to keep busy. That makes life a lot funner, and look for